We desperately need more storage, so I'm going to transform this solid wood cupboard I picked up on Facebook Marketplace for 20 Australian dollars into the craft cupboard of my dreams. What attracted me to this cupboard is that you can push the doors back inside to expose shelving. But this cupboard is not without its problems. It has some mold on it and is pretty beat up.
I should mention we're also in my garage, but my plan for it is that I want to mimic the bone inlay effect using paint and a stencil. So I want to cut out a stencil on my Cricut machine and then put it onto the cupboard and dab paint. So that is the plan. Let's see how it goes. But first, before I do all that, it's time to sand.
I started sanding down the cupboard using an electric sander, but after about 10 minutes, smoke started to come out of it, so I decided to give that a rest and focus on removing the hardware. Turns out part of the sandpaper was just becoming dislodged, so we fixed that and now it's all good. To remove the hardware, I used something called a screw gun. Clearly after the whole sanding fiasco, I need to be supervised when using power tools. So Alessandro showed me how to use it for the first time and it went like this.
Whoa, this is cool. Whoa. Whoa. What's the trick to making sure you get it out in one go?
This is the trick to getting the screw out. You put it straight. Pressure, is it, Ali?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
And magnified. See, it's
Whoa.
it can go also slowly.
Slowlier.
I don't want these details in it. I don't like it. I don't think it matches the vibe. Things more like medieval. I don't know. I don't like the studs, so I'm just gonna get in here. I've never done anything like this. Once we finished removing the remaining 7 bars from the cupboard doors, we used a trowel to remove any leftover glue. Next, we had to repair a broken panel in the door. This involved adding screws, builder's bulk, waiting for it to dry, and then sanding it down. Whilst I had the builder's bulk out, I went around and filled all the screws where the hardware was and any other chips or chunks that were missing from the cupboard. I went in a little bit too hard with the electric sander, so I switched to sanding by hand. Afterwards, I wiped everything down with sugar soap and water, ready to be primed. In Alessandro and I's relationship, I'm the chatterbox.
The primer doesn't have to be applied too particularly. Just slip, slop, slap, right?
Yeah.
This is fun doing this together, isn't it?
It is.
So much more fun than when I'm by myself. I can't wait for the stenciling part. This is actually quite relaxing with all the water outside on the tin roof. Going back over my handiwork, huh? Oh. 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 This primer smells like chocolate.
I think the paint is really old.
It smells like chocolate and I'm really craving chocolate now. Oh, and even the cupboard's brown like chocolate. It's a chocolate brown. Oops. couldn't resist. Hello everyone, I'm very excited because today I'm going to be painting the TV cabinet, which I've primed green. Like, I've chosen a really bold color choice, I think, especially for like my taste, but I think it's going to make a statement and it's going to make the contrast with the white paint when I go in with the stencil really strong. So this is the color. I'm really excited actually to see what it looks like. It's almost like an emerald green. Okay, so I'm going to try it on one of the drawers first. Moment of truth. I'm hoping that when I add the white paint, it's going to make it seem even darker, because right now it looks very bright. It's also going to be inside, not too close to a window, so it will probably look a bit darker as well inside. No idea where the roller is. I don't know how Alessandro put it.
In hindsight, I should have waited for the roller. Because I didn't add any water to the paintbrush left quite a few streak marks.
I'm getting very nervous about this color choice. I'm really hoping it goes darker. I've got a bit on my hands and it kind of makes me feel like Wicked covered in green face paint. It's definitely like that kind of color. So not really what I was going for, but yeah, I'm trying to stay positive when I do the second coat.
But first, I wanted to show Alessandro the color.
Oh God. I hate green. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty much the color of the stripe in your jumper. Like I said. What do you think?
I think it's very green.
Stand in front of that side and I think a strip of you is going to disappear. Yeah, it's almost exact. Literally. Oh, God.
I ended up giving the cupboard and the shelves and drawers another 2 coats of green paint, so 3 coats in total, and then I did 3 coats of white inside the drawers and inside the cupboard. This is the same white paint I'm going to be using for the stenciling. I attempted to make my own stencil using my Cricut machine and the Stencil film, but my drawing was so detailed that when I went to peel off the film, it kind of like all clumped together and it ended up looking like this. My 2 cents on the Cricut film is that it's good for larger shapes and patterns. For example, I was able to reuse this shape, which I repeated to form a border on the drawers and cupboard drawers. But anything that was more detailed than this, I was lucky if I could use it more than once. And I really needed a stencil that I could reuse, so I had to come up with a solution. Using the other side of the Cricut, that the paper that the film came off of, I cut the pattern into it again. And then I had to add masking tape so that it would stay together and not just flop forward and out. So this has been a bit of a nightmare, but let's see if it works. Cross your fingers and toes for me. I secured the stencil in place using medium adhesive masking tape and went in with a stencil brush and a little bit of paint, and thankfully it worked. The trick with stenciling is to use as little paint as possible, so you can wipe the excess off on a piece of paper towel, or I had a plastic plate that had a bit of a textured centre that I could rub the brush on. You want as little paint to the point that it doesn't even look like there's any paint on your brush, and then you go in and dab it across the entire stencil area. and then you repeat that for 2 coats. Well, at least this is the process that worked for me, and I didn't get too much bleed. Be warned, if you use a really detailed stencil like mine, you might find that the stenciling process is very slow and tedious. So a stencil like what we're doing now took by myself 30 minutes. So to do an entire side of the cupboard, it takes 3 hours by yourself. Thankfully, Alessandro did help me, but by the end, we were just really getting over it.
I got one idea about stenciling.
We had a bit of an accident. Alessandro knocked over the paint can.
Alessandro looks where he walks. Don't step in the paint. I told you don't step in the paint. What did I do? I stepped in.
Alessandro kept warning me not to step in the paint, and look what happened.
Should I go from one side to the other and then fill in the gap?
Oh, you're meant to start in the middle. Huh?
I didn't.
Yeah, I know you didn't. The golden rule of stenciling is to start from the middle. So using a tape measure, measure whatever it is you want to put your stencil on, work out where the middle is, and place your stencil there. That way you'll create a nice symmetrical look. Last night it took 3 people to bring the cupboard inside. Sky and Lee here. We put the doors on, and we also added some hardware, which was really exciting to see it all come together. Just to show you what it looks like in terms of size. Sometimes it's hard to tell on camera. I can fit in the cupboard. And so can Charlie. Can't you? Yeah, you were in here before with me. But the thing I'm most excited about is doing the storage solutions. So I went to IKEA, I went to Kmart, and I brought so many things that are going to help me organise this closet / cupboard / craft office Charlie's toys cupboard. So I thought I would show you what I got, and then I'm going to play around trying to organise it all. I started by adding a power board through the circle cutout in the back of the cupboard, and then I added my pegboard from IKEA. The installation was relatively easy. You just have to screw in the back bar, and then you use these spacers. I also got a lot of really cool accessories from IKEA for my pegboard. So I got these hooks, which come in a pack of 6 to hang things like my scissors, measuring tape, can opener, and keys. I used this storage basket, which comes in a set of 3, to store some books. I purchased 2 of these containers to hold some pencils and pens, a little shelf to hold the chargers and accessories for our electronics that are floating around the house, a packet of clips that come in a set of 2 to hold post-it notes and bits and pieces, and lastly a packet of 2 longer hooks to hold a laptop. Keep in mind, if you're going to put something heavy on a laptop, you may need to add extra support to your pegboard. Now for some satisfying organisation clips. I've put everything away in the cupboard and feeling so much better now that everything isn't just lying around the lounge room, and it's time for the final reveal.